Hey, good morning, everybody. You've got gas, the Wednesday edition. How are you doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good. A little cloudy and overcast here in sunny Southern California, but I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful day. We're up and around, talking, seeing, and hey, we got gas, the morning edition. Hi, everybody. You're a gasaholic, and I do appreciate you being here. It's Wheel Wednesday, so let's talk a little bit about wheels. Aluminum wheels came into vogue, I guess you could say, beginning in the 1930s. Yeah, back that far. And Bugatti was probably the first one to come up with aluminum wheels as the standard wheel. You got to remember, American car companies, some of them were still using wooden wheels. That's right, the centers were still wood. Uh, they had wire wheels, which a lot of people went to wire wheels in racing. So it became a way of doing wheels. They didn't think about solid steel wheels. There were some companies that had solid steel wheels, but the aluminum wheel, well, that was something Bugatti came up with. Again, a racing idea, a way to lighten unsprung weight, a rigid yet lightweight component. So the aluminum wheel on Bugattis, I guess you could say people are thinking in consensus of opinion, Bugatti was the first one to use aluminum on their production cars. Hey, I got to show you the shirt I got today. Look at this. Okay, Lions drag strip brought to you by Greg, and I've got it, Danderond. Thank you very much, Greg. Got the shirt for today from Greg. How you doing there, Neil and Phil Hoffman? Welcome to the show this morning. All right, gas is going to be on again this evening as well. We're going to sidetrack just a little bit. 5:30 p.m. We're going to talk about the fabulous Ford show coming to Irwindale Drag Strip. Yeah, it's scheduled. Hi, Pascal. How are you doing? You live in the muscle car zone? Yes, in Italy. Virtual World, U.S. car meetings. We love it. We're doing it. I'm going to be doing a Zoom meeting, a Zoom show. The Evening Gas will be on this evening at 5:30 p.m. We're going to talk about Fords and the fabulous Ford show. All right, so aluminum wheels coming out. Bugatti, actually 1924 was the first time Bugatti used an aluminum wheel. Now, a lot of manufacturers started going to aluminum wheels, but it really didn't take on or take off until the 1940s and the 1950s. After World War II, lightweight, stylish wheels. Cadillac's 1956 Coupe de Ville had a great aluminum wheel. It almost looked too good because it looked like a hubcap, but they were aluminum wheels and they were neat looking. So the 1954 Caddy had the what they called the saber spoke aluminum wheel. And it was manufactured by a company called Kelsey Hayes. Kelsey Hayes known for their regular steel wheels and wire wheels. So they did that. So Cadillac did it. Pontiac came out with a 10-bolt wheel where the center was aluminum and it had the rim, and it looked, the center was also the brake drum. Very costly, but stylish, looked great. So 1959, 1960 is that when that came out. Now, Europeans went to aluminum wheels long before the Americans did in mass. You had them on Fiat, you had them on BMWs, Ferraris, of course. Corvette started getting the aluminum wheel back in about 1964 with their turbine spoke wheel, and it was kind of cool looking too. All right, then Alfa. Now, their wheel was so kind of plain that it looked like it was a steel wheel. So the Alfa got it on the Giulia GTA back in 1965. But it looked, I thought they were steel wheels until I started reading up on it, and it was actually an aluminum wheel. Hi, Rebecca and Merrick. How are you today? Carroll Shelby had a company design a special wheel for the Mustangs. It was a cast aluminum center section with a steel rim. So here they took an aluminum center and welded it or, made it fit into a steel rim. Not quite sure other than maybe cost savings, but that's how it was. So it was, rather than being riveted like some of the Cadillac wheels were, and the Cadillac was a two-piece as well, the aluminum center incorporated a cast-in steel tabs that were welded to the steel rim. So it was a more complex design, but it worked. Hi, Ray Price and Chris Wise. How are you this morning? Lamborghini, Cobras with the Hillebrands. Now, Hillebrand went to Indianapolis early on with magnesium wheels. These lightweight wheels saved a whole lot of weight over the steel wheels that were being used at the time. But there's a problem with magnesium wheels. Magnesium burns. You chip a magnesium wheel, it can catch on fire. How many of you remember flashlight bulbs on your cameras? If you're old enough, you remember flashlight bulbs. We had to replace them. That funny looking strand of stuff inside was magnesium because it burns and lights real quickly. You try and put a fire out that is magnesium and you can spray molten metal everywhere. So magnesium became banned for a while and they went to aluminum. Cassie is saying Shelby just had every cookie jar he didn't. Wait a minute, had his hand in every cookie jar. You bet he did. He was a smart entrepreneur. Denny and Krager SS wheels. Yes, those were aluminum centers as well, coming out in the mid-1960s, and they were very popular. Ferrari, as we know, Porsche with their Fuchs wheels, and a whole host of other manufacturers, mostly European and Japanese, went to this aluminum wheel combinations early on. The Americans followed suit later on, but the hot rodders, they were the ones that went with styled wheels, whether they were steel or aluminum. And like Denny is saying, the Krager SS was probably the most popular early 5-spoke mag wheel. We call them mag wheels. Again, the slang, mag wheel. You got mags. It's not magnesium, guys. It's kind of like the little things you clean your ear out with. You call them Q-tips, regardless of who made them. We're not driving cars with mag wheels. That's it. Robert's saying, it's funny I'm talking about this because he's patching a tire right now. Okay. Carbon fiber wheels are coming out. Yes, there are people trying those right now. And in racing, it will work. But again, there are limits to things like this. When you try out like a carbon fiber, what is the fatigue level? What is well, you're putting them in the hands of consumers. What are they going to do? That's the problem. Hi, Paul Whitehouse and Jim Dillow. How are you this morning? All right, 1964 is considered the year that Krager introduced their aluminum wheel. And in the 70s, there were companies like Krager SS's, Anson Sprints, American Mags. Shelby came up with this whole line of wheels beginning then. And there were also less expensive steel wheels that looked like the aluminum wheels. And those were the slotted wheels. I can remember the Superior Typhoon steel dish wheel. A lot less expensive than the aluminums. Had the slots, looked like aluminums. It was chrome, but, you know, us car guys knew the difference. And we looked at them and go, okay, you got steel wheels. And Jim Dillow from the desert saying, hi, Terry Wallace. Now, steel wheels did not lose favor. They started coming out with more styled steel wheels. American Mag and other companies came out with wheels, excuse me, that looked really good in steel. Some of them were the off-road style wheels. And some of those wheels actually made their way into NASCAR. NASCAR used steel wheels, and I believe they may even still be using a steel wheel in racing. Now, we do know that the sports car racers, the Formula One racers and so forth, they have used alloy wheels for decades and decades and continue to. And like someone just said, carbon fiber wheels, they're coming, and they're going to be becoming more popular. Now, some people have come up with wheel styles that were not necessarily the most popular things. A company called Ronell out of Europe came up with a mag wheel, an aluminum wheel, that was the shape of a panda. It was so cute and ugly, but it was funny. And they had a locking center cap on it so you couldn't get to the lug nuts and steal them. Not that anyone really wanted to, but there they were. Hi, Natalie Angelo. How are you? I'm doing great. And cloudy in New Jersey as well. Yeah, one of my home states. All right, there were other styling wheels that came out. Colin Steinhaus from Steinhaus Racing admits that he sold American racing beauties in the late 80s and 90s. And there were spectacular designs and colors, and some people started to make these wheels more personal, just like the cars, and painting the centers, painting different parts of it. Cassie thought the giant wheels on dunk style. Yeah, no thank you. And those are the big 25s and 30s and so forth. And to me, that's ridiculous and useless. Now, a lot of guys want to go to that +1, +2 style with the very thin sidewalls, thinking, okay, this is cool. This is what race cars have. Well, race cars do to an extent, but you got to remember that's going to change your ride characteristics and handling characteristics. And one thing about the low-profile tires, you need to check the air pressure frequently because they are subject to damage from potholes and road hazards, a lot more so than the tires with the bigger sidewalls. And the taller the sidewall, the smoother the ride is going to be, but the slower the handling reaction is going to be. Now, American Racing here in Southern California has been making wheels for decades and have made some amazing wheels that are still popular today. Other companies are trying different styles. There's a two-spoke style out from a company called Stratos. Yeah, no thanks. That's to me, that's a weak wheel. Now, I know they've changed them, but those donk wheels like you're talking, Cassie, from companies like Dub, where they've got these 20-plus inch wheels. Now, you got to remember, when cars first came out, they had tall wheels because it was the horse and buggy days is where they came from. So they had real tall wheels. As time went by, they started going smaller and smaller and smaller. And a lot of cars even had 13-inch wheels. The compact cars. The Mini had 10-inch wheels, and the Honda, real tiny. When they first came into the country with the Honda 600s or whatever they called the little box that they came out with. And Rocket Wheels was another popular company Terry Wallace brings to mind. Alan Jonick, Renault, and Saab, 3-spoke wheels, yes. Hi, Skip Davis, how you doing today? And then there's the style wheels that they're going on the off-road vehicles today that are aluminum, that are tall. Now, again, not quite as big as the donk wheels you see on some of these cars that are just plain ridiculous, but bigger wheels with bigger tires for off-roading to gain clearance. So that's popular there. Now, still, one of the more popular wheels in hot rodding is still a good old steel wheel with baby moon hubcaps. And that's what I run on the Plymouth. The 56 has got 5-spoke Americans. The 57 has got some Supreme mag wheels that my son put on the car. And Peg's car, steel wheels and stock hubcaps on hers. So there's a lot of different styles, and that's one of the ways you personalize your car. Good morning, Richard. How are you doing today? Jeff Stillwell from Great Britain watching. Troy Light. How are you today, Mr. Light? Terry Wallace, Datsun 1200 stock wheels were 12 inches. Really? I didn't remember that because mine had mag wheels on it when I bought it. So, again, different size tires, different size wheels. Robert Ross says Maverick had 13-inch wheels. Nah, I don't remember 13s on the Maverick. I do remember 13s on the Falcon. But the Mavericks I had all had 14s. And then I upgraded to 15s when I put disc brakes on mine. Cassie Nunez says she's got 14-inch rallies. Yeah, that's right. 14-inch rally wheels when they first came out. Everyone calls them lame. Yeah, they're 14-inch wheels. The problem with a 14-inch wheel today is they don't clear the disc brakes on many cars. So people have had to go to 15 and 16-inch wheels. Now, I've got, on my Corvette, it's got the factory-style aluminum wheels, and they went to a bigger wheel. I've got 18s, 17s, and 18s on mine to clear the huge brakes. And that's one of the reasons wheel size started getting bigger. Braking systems. Disc brakes started getting larger. To clear them, they needed bigger wheels. And they didn't want to compromise overall height, so that's where some of the low-profile tires started coming out. And you can get a low-profile. Remember, tire sizes like 560/15 on the Volkswagen Beetle. Well, now you can't get a 560. Now they've got different numbers. They're all metric. And they use a series. 50 series, 60 series, 70 series, 75 series, 83 series. And the higher the number, the taller the tire width or height. And from the wheel to the top. The 83 series being the taller from the rim to the top of the tire. The 50 and 45 series and smaller are the narrower, the rubber band tires, as we call them sometimes. All right, Douglas just looked up the Honda N600, and it was a 10-inch wheel. Okay, good. Thank you for confirming that. Robert Roth says early 1970s production, 1969. Yeah, Robert, 1969 was kind of a strange year for the Maverick because that was the introduction of it. The Falcon was still in production as well. So they could have used 13s as a carryover. And again, it was a small car. Richard says he's got 15-inch Mopars on his T-Bucket. All right, well, that's cool. Now, and Mopar, strangely enough, uses the same bolt pattern as Ford, and so did Volvo back in the 60s. Natalie says Steel Wheels was on album from Rolling Stones, Bill Wyman's last appearance. Okay, that's cool. I like that trivia. Some music trivia. So what's on your car? Steel wheels? Aluminum wheels? They call them mag wheels. But folks, on the street, they're not magnesium anymore. And Larry Mulhauser confirming 4-lug, 13-inch wheels. And mine was 4-lug as well, but it was switched out to 5-lug. We went to the Ford 8-inch rear end, and I went to Granada disc brakes up front on the Maverick I had. So it was 5-lug, and I had 15-inch wheels to clear the disc brakes. Sandy Martin's watching as well. All right, hey, a new edition of Talking About Cars is going to be coming out soon, and we interviewed Bo Bachman and the staff from their new TV show. You really got to check it out, and we're going to talk to them. It's on Monday nights on the Discovery Channel. Check it out with Bo Bachman and the team. They are bringing back to life historic vehicles. Now, I'm not saying old vehicles. These are historic. They are milestone, or not milestone, but they are very important vehicles to the hot rodding and racing community. The first show they did, and the name of the show at that point was Driven. They've changed that name to Car Kings. But they did a Pantera that was originally the test bed that Iacocca gave to Shelby to work on it. It was a Pantera when they were coming up with the new Viper. Had no relation to the Viper. Not quite sure the connection, but that was something that Iacocca did with Shelby. The first show called Driven with Bo Bachman from Galpin Ford here in Southern California, the largest Ford dealer in the world. And they've got a separate section that Bo has opened up where they restore vintage cars. And the vintage cars they restore are significant in racing and hot rodding. You guys are posting a lot of information here. Robert Roth's got aluminum wheels on his Previa, steel on the drag van. Yeah, well, drag van's a little tougher to get aluminum wheels for, but they do have them. Richard Candidhead says on his T sedan he's got chrome reverse 15s and 14 fronts. Now, chrome reverse wheels, that was the hot setup in the 60s. And what the manufacturers of wheels did is they took the wheel, separated the center from the rim, turned the rim around, giving it a different offset. And they were called chrome reverse rims. So it made it look like a deep dish wheel. Wasn't any wider. They just turned it around because the offset on the center, or the lowered section or smaller section of the wheel, was offset. And that's how they did it. So they reversed them, chrome reverse wheels. I had a set on my Falcon back in high school, and that was the thing to do. All right, 5:30 this evening. We're going back on. Alan Jonik, it's also Custom Museum at Galpin. Yes, the Custom Museum at Galpin, and that's where they build some of these cars to go on display there. And Galpin and Bo have the largest collection of real hot rods or customs built by Big Daddy Ed Roth. And they just restored a pickup truck that was called the Hauler, the tow hauler for Red Fox that Joe G. Barris still owns. So they got that. Natalie Angelo is watching the movie Steve McQueen drove in Bullet. Yep. And Bo, or the guys, not Bo, but they redid a Mustang to replicate the Steve McQueen car. And that was the Gas Monkey Garage guys doing that for Steve McQueen's son, Chad. All right. Tonight, 5:30, the evening edition of Gas. And we're going to be talking about the fabulous Ford show that's coming to Southern California in October. Hi, Jessica. How are you doing this morning? All right, so you guys take care. Have a great day. GAAS, the Great American Auto Scene, the morning edition, brought to you by Valley Head Service, Irwindale Speedway, Irwindale Drag Strip, Service Tech, Service Shop Equipment Guys, Tucker Tire, Moon Eyes, and Beach Underwriting. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. You got wheels and you got gas. And this evening, we'll be back 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be talking about the all-new Ford show and race going to happen at Irwindale Drag Strip. We'll tell you all about it from the fabulous Ford crew at 5:30 this evening. Tune in. Hope to have Randy Cardoon along with us and DM and Stacy from the Ford Club. So we'll see you at 5:30 this evening. Evening Gas is back on the airwaves. We'll see you tonight at 5:30. Have a great day, folks.